What in the world is this? Okay. Mayor Aaron. And in serial killer magazine text. That's never a good sign. What the? Happy retirement? Is there any other kind? Looks like they scratched out some letters. CORRUPT? Wait, corrupt? Retiring? I'm not going anywhere as mayor. What is this? Oh, getting a call?
Good evening, Mayor Aaron. I see you got your card. You might be wondering who I am or why I'm here.
Yeah, like what's this card even mean? Wait, is that a little mini roll of duct tape? That is adorable!
Really? That's your big question?
Yeah, sorry, you just distracted me. But seriously, who are you and why are you here?
I'm here because today's figure review is the epitome of a corrupt political figure, Stephanie McMahon, which is perfect for a corrupt mayor like you to review. You need to retire. This town deserves honesty, a change.
Oh, come on, Steph isn't that bad. Wait, how am I corrupt?
Solve the riddle I included in the card to find out.
Oh, okay, that's what this is here? Alright, simple enough. Who takes the best but leaves the rest. They remove the flesh with a switch to try and become rich. Hey, most people when they give someone a card, they put money or gift cards in there. They don't give them a freaking riddle.
You're wasting time. And you only have 30 seconds to solve the riddle, or else someone near and dear to you will pay.
Diva Marie! Don't you hurt her. She's delicate like a flower. Robo-Taminas!
Robo-Tamina, reporting for duty.
Okay, I need y'all to solve this riddle for me before whoever this is hurts Diva Marie.
Oh no! Is LumberJillville in trouble?
Yes, but we have to solve this. Okay, here's the riddle. Who takes the best but leaves the rest? They remove the flesh with a switch to try and become rich.
That's easy. The answer is a scalper.
Ah, scalper! That makes total sense. Wait a sec. Are you calling me a scalper?
Correct. No more lies, Mayor Aaron. You say you are against scalping, but I was there, in the shadows, and watched you as you sold your MOC, Trish Stratus, for $35 shipped.
Wait a sec. I think I know who you are. Are you Demon Trish? Behind a mask? And wearing glasses for some reason?
No, wrong guess. Demon Trish is dead. She failed, and I won't.
Oh, come on. When you include tax and shipping costs, I made like $1. That's not corrupt.
It is corrupt. You are the mayor of LJV. Ha! You need to go. This city needs a new mayor, and if you don't change your ways, scalper see, scalper do. I will scalp off Diva Marie's beautiful hair too.
No, not her hair. Diva Marie loves her hair. Just don't hurt her. Okay, listen. Just tell us where you are, and me and Robo-Tamina's here. We'll meet you, and we'll have a nice, peaceful talk. We just want Diva Marie back.
Wait, talk peacefully, Mayor Aaron? If you say so, I was totally gonna obliterate this person. No way, me
too. Like, eviscerate them with my laser death ray as soon as I saw them for hurting Diva Marie.
Well, that's just too bad. You won't get your chance, you metal morons. Not today. See you soon. Bye.
No, wait. Great. Look what you Robotomines did. You scared him off. Now, how are we supposed to find his location and save Diva Marie?
Hey, what's with all the noise? What did I miss?
Everything, come here, Alexa. You literally missed everything. But it looks like we have a new supervillain here in LumberJillville. I think it's time we have help from a superhero.
Who? Batman?
No. This superhero is different. Hey y'all, welcome to LumberJillville. Women's wrestling lives here. Now to get a first look at all future women's wrestling figures, make sure to hit subscribe, become an official resident of LJV today, and also hit like on the video if you like it. So I'm excited to be here to review the brand new WWE Elite Series 94 Stephanie McMahon. Now we're going to do an up-close detailed figure review, but we're also going to do a little comparison with some of her previous Mattel Elites released to see if this is the best Stephanie that we have gotten by Mattel so far. So without further ado, let's take a closer look at the figure, starting with the packaging. Alright, so starting off with the package here, I've been on record saying that the new style packaging that started in Elite Series 89, I'm not a huge fan of. I think visually it's okay, but I think the overall quality has definitely gone down. This cardboard is real flimsy and thin, along with that window as well, so that's kind of a downer, but it does look okay to display MOC here. We got a nice smug image of the heel Stephanie McMahon Helmsley on the front. I love that. With her name, we have that image enlarged on the side here. We have the series in the top right corner on the front. We have this little angle on the side, the authentic logo there with the holographic sticker. And on the back, we have an image of Stephanie with the little bio here. And then we have the rest of the series here. So, yeah, not much to say with the packaging. I've covered them in detail since the change to this new style. However, shout out to my friend Jamie, longtime resident of LJV, who advised that I open these Elites from the top. So let's see. Let's move the camera here. Let's see if it's a little easier opening from the top. So I cut one piece. I cut two pieces. That opens up. Oh my Lanta. So, okay, anybody that has had a tough time or just rips their boxes to shred, just open it from the top and it could go nicely back in there and seal fine. So let's take her out and take a closer look. WWE Elite Series 94 Stephanie McMahon. This attire is from the August 21st, 2020 edition of Raw's War, where WWF Women's Champion Stephanie McMahon would lose her title to Lita on the night. Alright, some overall first impressions of this figure are actually really good. So I know this isn't the most exciting figure to look at, doesn't have the most extravagant attire or details or anything to that degree, but for the look they were going for, or for the time period that they were trying to capture here with Steph, I think they absolutely crushed it and did as good as they could. Now before we take a closer look at the details of the figure itself, I just want to cover the accessories. So she comes with a WWF Women's Championship here, and an extra pair of hands. Now, what's nice about this Women's Championship, this is that really nice metallic, almost vac metallized gold Women's Championship. And I say that because if we go back to like that WrestleMania Elite China, which I'm not a fan of this figure too much, if you look at that Women's Championship, it's like the dull, kind of cheaper, almost basic style championship that doesn't have that vac metal finish. And that one just doesn't really stand out on the shelves. Not a big fan. So the fact that they did package Stephanie with this vac metallized gold Women's Championship is great. Now, another thing to note that's very important is the hands. So the extra hands she comes with are pointing fingers. Now, if you looked at images of when this figure was first shown off, the finger was huge. It was ginormous, okay? Almost like the Alexa Bliss Elite 82 ginormous fingers. But I am happy to say that they did make some changes from that prototype or whatever that was. And the figure hands and fingers are in scale and look great. Even with the nails painted red with pretty darn good detail. Now, what's kind of interesting is the hand is not a hard plastic. It's almost like a soft rubbery type material. So that's kind of weird, but I definitely think it works fine, and it does work. So I'm okay with that. So with that being said, let's take a closer look at the figure, starting with that face. So this face scan, in my opinion, is the best likeness that they've ever captured of Stephanie in her figure history. Now, don't get me wrong, they've had some pretty good basics, a couple good elites, and even in the Jax line, she's had a couple decent figures that really do capture her likeness pretty well. But this one is different in my opinion, because not only do they capture her likeness, but they capture the time period. So this is 2000, right? This is younger Steph. And looking at this figure, it really does look like a younger Stephanie McMahon, especially when you compare it next to some of her previous figures, which we'll do later in the review. So I think that's pretty darn amazing that they made the sculpt and the scan not only look like Steph, but look like a young Steph. I really do like that and think they're pretty spot on here. Now, looking at the hair sculpt, it's actually a really cool sculpt here. I really like the detail of the hair kind of wrapping around the back there. And then the little curl she has going throughout. She has a little strand hanging down on this side, and this side has a little loose strand. So, yeah, in my opinion, I wasn't too sure how I felt about that scan when I was looking at images of it firsthand, but having it in front of me, I think it's pretty amazing. It's really cool that they captured a young-looking Stephanie. Alright, so moving on down to Steph's body sculpt and attire. I think they did a good job with part choices here, but my only thing is it does seem a little short. Now, we'll do a comparison here when we compare it to her previous elites, but it does seem a little undersized. Now, I really don't cover scale here much in LJV because scale, in my opinion, has been thrown out the window by Mattel, especially with the women's figures. I mean, ever since Elite 74 Natty. So, yeah, we'll talk about that later when we compare this figure. But looking at the attire itself, I'm really glad that they went with a soft goods t-shirt. I think that's really awesome. It has SMH for Stephanie McMahon Helmsley, not shaking my head, okay? But we get the little attitude stripe underneath, so I really do like this soft goods shirt. I'm glad they went with a soft goods shirt, because if they would have just had a painted on shirt, it really would have taken away from this figure, because the attire is so simple, so it's nice that we do get this little shirt accessory. Moving on down to her bottoms, I mean, they're just black pants that kind of flare out around the ankles there. Once again, very spot on to what she actually wore. And as I covered before, her nails are painted red, which is a nice little addition. Now, let's look and see what she has under the shirt. I mean, just because some people might be curious. I'm not trying to be weird. So, under the shirt here, that's pretty cool. Under the shirt we have just a midsection fabric piece here, and we have like a sports bra top. So I feel like they have used this in the past, almost one of her basics, honestly. So that does look really familiar, but obviously I'm a displayer with the shirt on. But yeah, as far as the attire goes, it's simple, but I think they did as good as they could have done, and I'm glad they went with a soft goods t-shirt, and I think they did a pretty good choice with part selection as well. Alright, so now let's articulate. I'll never do that again. I don't even know what that was. Anyway, looking at the head here, she can look right really good. She can look left really good. She can't look down and can't look up too much, which you see a lot in women's figures because the hair mold a lot of time inhibits that head movement. Her shoulder is on a ball joint and can move in all different directions. It's not inhibited at all with that t-shirt. Her elbow is double jointed. Woohoo! She has a wrist swivel where she can also extend and flex her wrist. Now, her upper torso movement is actually really good on this figure. Sometimes you see them limited. Raquel didn't move a whole lot there with that upper torso movement, but she can side bend really well. She can ab crunch, extend back, really good. She has a waist swivel. Her hip is on a ball joint and can move pretty good in all different directions. She has an upper thigh swivel. She has double jointed knees that can really flex back. And then her foot doesn't have a whole lot of movement. It can plantar flex and dorsiflex a little bit. but it is a little inhibited by these kind of flared bottoms. But in my opinion, it gives the figure some stability to stand, so that is okay with me. So let's see how this stacks up compared to some of her other figures. Alright, so now let's do a little side-by-side comparison. So Stephanie has had a lot of figures released in her career. I mean, a lot of Jakks figures, and a lot of Mattel Basics, and then these Elites here. So we're not going to cover all of them. I'll do a history video in the future, but I just wanted to compare this Elite to some of her previous Elites. So on the left, we have Elite Series 50, and on the right of the Stephanie we're looking at today, we have Elite Series 37. So, like I mentioned a little bit when I was covering the body sculpt, is she is undersized. They really made her tiny. Now, she's 5'8", so she's not the tallest person in the world, but she definitely is not this short. Now, it is important to note that Elite Series 50 is wearing heels, so it makes sense, right? But this Elite Series 37 is not wearing heels, and she's quite a bit taller than the Stephanie from Elite 94. So I definitely do think they made her a little too small, but like I mentioned before, as far as scaling goes, they've kind of dropped that, so I don't cover scaling as much because it's one of those things that I don't think it's one of their guidelines anymore as far as Mattel goes, so it's not a huge issue to me. But looking at this Elite Series 37, I'm not the biggest fan. So if we just look at the attire is amazingly sculpted, beautifully painted. It's a work of art here. But then we look at the face, and that looks like a generic creator wrestler from like 2K. You know, that does not look like Stephanie. So that's out. So if we're trying to choose the best Stephanie McMahon figure, it's between these two in my opinion here. And I'm going to be completely honest with you, the Elite Series 50 on the left here, I reviewed that with that Elite 37 early in the channel's history. And go watch that if you want to see this figure up close and really broken down part by part. But this Elite Series 50 is truly maybe the most underrated Elite that I've ever gotten a look at and reviewed in LJV. I mean, not just is this entrance jacket awesome, the fact that she comes with a mask she can hold. The likeness is really good. She really looks like a heel, but all the detail and sculpting that went into this attire in this figure is truly astounding, and you could probably still get that for a good price. I know that Elite 94, you know, it might fill the gap for Attitude Era. This Stephanie on the left is obviously years and years after that. So if you're looking for a Stephanie for your Attitude collection, your Attitude Era collection, definitely go with Elite 94. But if you're looking for the best Stephanie McMahon figure out there, I definitely think Elite Series 50 here on the left is the best Steph. So it all depends on what Steph you're going for, what era, what decade, and what you want to display on your shelf. And here's one last look at WWE Elite Series 94, Stephanie McMahon. Alright, so overall, I give WWE Elite Series 94 Stephanie McMahon an overall score of a 7 out of 10. Now, don't get me wrong, this is a really cool Stephanie figure, and there's some really cool details, such as the really nice back metalized Women's Championship title, the soft goods shirt, and also I think it's pretty freaking amazing that they captured a younger looking Stephanie McMahon in a combination of the face sculpt and also that TrueFX face scan. I think that's pretty tremendous. But the reason it doesn't get a higher score is because there's just not a whole lot to talk about here, right? Now, like I mentioned earlier in the review, the look that they chose to make in figure form, I think they did the best they could have, right? But it's not the most exciting look, and I think that's why it doesn't get a higher score. Now, if you have a WWF Attitude Era figure collection, you need this Steph, and it would fit right in, and I can't recommend that enough. But if you're just looking to have one Stephanie in your collection, definitely go and check out Elite Series 50, because I think that's hands down the best Stephanie McMahon figure out there. The detail, the sculpting, and everything on that figure is pretty tremendous. Check out that review on my channel if you want to take a closer look. So it all depends on what you're looking for, but as far as a year 2000 Stephanie McMahon during the Attitude Era, I think this does a pretty good job. Thanks for stopping by LumberJillville. Women's wrestling lives here. For a first look at all future women's wrestling figures, make sure to hit subscribe and become an official resident of LJV today. Also hit like on today's video if you enjoyed the review. Head on over to ringsidecollectibles.com and use discount code LJV to save 10% on your next order. And head on over to ProWrestlingTees/LumberJillville if you want to get this shirt or some other merch and support me. Now, with that being said, I have some really exciting videos coming out, so stay tuned. But more importantly, I hope y'all have a great night.